Hey guys, alrighty. So this was just another painful day of trading. So we actually had about a 16-point range on ES, which is super tight. SPY only hit $1.45 total range. That's 36% of the average move that we see over a 10-day period. Super, super small range. Now, NQ had a little bit better movement. Not great, not bad. But the last time we had movement that was similar to this was actually here on January 30th. But the most similar day that we had was right here on December 28th. So we had a very, very similar move. And then you can see what happened is every time we get these kind of super, super tiny doji candles right here, it leads to a bigger retrace. So this last time it happened, it led to about an 8-day, 2.36% retrace. If that happens, we could potentially by the 16th see a drop to about 487. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. I feel like every time there is a nice bearish technical setup, it is very, very hard for it to play out. I mean, if you look at this time period right here, how many bearish reversal light candles that we had, yet we did not play out, is very, very high. It's very, very hard to trust the bears right now. Now, the one thing I will say this week compared to the previous week and really month, this is, and I don't want to say the weakest I've seen the bulls, but I feel like this is the strongest fight the bulls have had to go through. Now, what I mean by that is either we're finally seeing buyers exhausted, which just means we are finally hitting a price point where buyers don't feel like they need to buy anymore. You know, this whole rally up, everybody was just trying as fast and as hard as they could to get in because they felt like they were missing the next rally. I feel like the last week has not really been like that. Now, overnight, a little different movement. Now, intraday, though, I feel like we are seeing, like I said, either buyer exhaustion or we're finally seeing a point where people want to start taking profits. So the big thing to note is that despite the fact that bulls, for the most part, and today is the biggest time they couldn't do it, can't continue just their easy rally and easy push up, I think it's also important to note that despite people taking profits or there being sellers finally kind of trying to come in here, the sellers are not coming into a point where it's strong enough to take the price down and keep it down and keep it going lower. We're only seeing basically, it really just seems like an algo is buying it up for like 10 cents and then selling it right back down for 10 cents. And they're just kind of like ping-ponging this price action up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, today and really yesterday, I mean, price basically stayed in about a 5-point range and just stayed there. You know, nobody really could get a good move in this market, a good grasp on where we were going in this market. Everybody was just stuck. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this week's going to play out here. Now, one thing I think is important is you can see we're kind of pushing up here. We're getting to the point of this rally here where, and, you know, and if we look at the kind of how these rallies have gone, so that was about a 4.7% move. Right now we're at about 3.5%. You know, this one was, let's say, 2.8%. You know, let's see, this one was 2% there. So we're getting to the point where, you know, the chances of a drop are growing just because of how this kind of has been flowing. It's been going up, kind of dies out, and then it drops hard, and then it finally pops. So I am looking for possibly a retrace tomorrow. I think we could get back down into this 495.3 area. Now, again, until we really are under 20 EMA support, which is really going to be 490.95 area, I am not bearish long term. Going over to ES here, you know, we've broke through yesterday, 49.73, and I know this candle looks super strong and super big of a breakout, but most of that happened after hours. We had a huge push yesterday morning where they basically said the banks were fine, and that led to a big breakout pre-market. But again, intraday, it was not bullish at all. It was very much so pinned. So, you know, I'm looking for a potential double top here at this 50.16 area, and that could potentially lead to a nice drop down here to about 49.75. I do think we're going to come back down. Will we come all the way down to 49.73, which is the previous supply? So again, this is a nice resistance area. Once we pop through it, sometimes we'll touch it before we push back up. That is potential, but if not, then we're just kind of looking at price discovery to all-time highs here. Going over to the Qs here, I just want to show just the strength of this rally up here. So kind of same thing here, you know, we are coming to a point here with this doji here where we look like we could get a little bit of downside move here. Now, same thing, 428.24, since we finally broke through it, got over it yesterday. This is our major support area that I want to watch. But again, until we're under 20 EMA support, which is going to be in this 426 area, I am not bearish long term. I think this, much like this candle, is just a correction, or just a drop rather, not even a correction, but a pullback in order to push up higher. Going over to NQ, same thing here. You know, we got the nice little double top here at 17,860. I do see us rounding down. This 17,713 area was such an important and strong resistance. I mean, you see how many days that we rejected this before we finally broke out yesterday. Now, I will say today and yesterday was interesting. So yesterday, ES looked far stronger than NQ. NQ struggled way more yesterday and struggled to push higher up. Now, today, NQ looked very, very strong for most of the day. NQ had nice rallies and nice moves up and was actually pushing new high days and new all-time highs, while ES was pushing low days. So there was a very, very big divergence of tech today and ES. So again, though, I am looking for a possible round down here, and I do think we could come back down to 17,714 area and retouch that. Now, looking at the VIX here, honestly, not a whole lot going on. We have a potential reversal candle, much like here on the 11th, you know, right, kind of like here on the 28th, kind of like here on the 15th. So we could see a pop to the upside tomorrow. But again, the VIX, I don't put a lot of weight into it right now. Now, looking at the dollar, we did get a new demand today right here at 104.036. So what I think is interesting is we broke out on the dollar, which, again, markets did not really care about. We came up here, put a new supply in at 104.44. We came down, back tested 8 EMA support, and we are holding this. And this is actually a reversal back to the upside candle here. But today we actually came up and almost to the penny touched 104.44 supply and then rejected it before we came back down. So we're going to look for see if we can get over 104.44 or if we're going to get under the 8 EMA support again. Looking at the 10-year yield, same thing. You know, after we put this supply in right here at 4.138%, we have this really big, and we have another, let's see, this supply is actually supposed to be right there. So at 4.158, and then 4.181%. We have this really nice kind of double supply area here. You know, we bounced hard on Friday last week at 3.881%. So big old bounce to the upside, and we're kind of, basically we either need to rip through 4.181% up into this 4.237 to 4.260% area, or we need to really get back under 4.068% and start our move back down. Until then, we're just kind of stuck. You know, I think this has really been just an incredibly difficult week to trade. Really, even going back to last week, there's just been so many failed breakouts, failed breakdowns, overall lack of continuation in either direction. And I think this market, from a technical standpoint, I think it's just exhausted. I think this run, and if you, I mean, again, I mean, zooming out here, it's just incredible. And honestly, one other thing, I put it in my written TA, but tomorrow, if SPY-X closes over 4958.61, it will be the best 15-week period of gains ever in market history. So a historical run that we're on right now. 15 weeks, if we go back 15 weeks, this is, let's say, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 weeks puts us exactly at the bottom of this rally. I mean, this has truly been a historical run. But, I think I truly, and I'm somebody that trades off technicals. I'm not somebody that, I mean, I trade price action, which I do think is a technical indicator. And I use other indicators to support my trades. But I really, really strongly feel that this market is hurting right now. It needs some sort of major downside move just to reset the technicals, to put stuff back in a healthy spot so we can move in a more normalized pattern. These candles, and you can see, like, if you look at the beginning of this rally right here, starting back in October, these candles were strong candles, big, nice, clean moves. Look at this, like right here, nice trend up. But really, and if you look at the market breadth starting in January compared to the trend of the market, you start to see the divergence for the first time. And really, January started right here, and you can see just how choppy a lot of these candles are. We're not seeing, and I would even say really since December 14th is when it started becoming all these choppy doji candles. We get a couple clean days here and there, but these candles are so choppy. Nobody is really winning. It's just these tight ranges, weird movements. And I just think the market's hurting. I just think we need to see some sort of correction. And I don't know if it's the 0 DTE, gamma, because no one's playing the VIX as well anymore, or what it is exactly that is making this market not be able to sell off. Because honestly, anybody that's telling you that this market, at least on the broader indexes like, ES and NQ, anybody that's telling you that this is well supported, this is a strong bull run, we have so many buyers, we have so much of this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they're pretty much lying to you. Yes, there are buyers coming in, but those buyers are coming in like final 10 minutes of the day. So yesterday was a great example of that. Yesterday was another day that was very, very weak, that did not actually have daily buyers to support further upside until the final 10 minutes. It was the same thing today. Markets were weak. Markets were trying to drop. Markets didn't have buyers on a daily time frame to support more upside until the final candle. And really till the final minute candle, SPY-X couldn't even hit 5,000 again. So again, market's just hurting. This is a terrible, terrible place to be trading right now. I know I'm struggling, and I'm not too proud to admit that I'm struggling in this market. My biggest thing is that I'm somebody that trades generally, I would say, breakouts or at least trend continuation. So for me, so we can go to SPY-X here, I have SPY-X just because I was watching it, but I don't trade SPY-X, but I have it up. So, let's say here, so, we get this massive, let's see, where's a good one here? So we have a nice double top, we come down, we close below EMA supports. So you think continuation, you would think rejection off EMAs to go lower, but then you get this big rip up here. So same thing, you would think because this is a long wick rejection that we should, and we did by judging by this wick, go lower. But then what happens is we push higher. Same thing here. We have this is a massive doji reversal candle at 130. This should be a bearish reversal. But what happens is you see we pushed up for another 30 minutes before we finally got our retrace. So now this was a nice reversal candle at 245 to the upside here, but there's just so many. I mean, look at all these wicks. You know, this is just wiki price action. None of it is smooth. I mean, this is yesterday. You know, this was opening hour. We had a huge push up. And then after that, it was just every other candle was just chop, 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 chop. Nothing is smooth. Nothing is trending right now. So for me, you know, I would play right here. If we had this huge double bottom, bullish engulfing candle, bounce off EMA support here, I'm expecting continuation. And I know for a fact on this candle, we had buyers at, this is 11 a.m., we had buyers to support further upside. But instead of getting that further upside in the breakout that you would expect after a retrace, you get this massive drop to then just go right back up. You know, same thing. I know on this candle right here, we had sellers to take it lower, but we get a huge bounce instead. So it's very, very difficult. You know, my recommendation in this market is either don't trade it, size way down, or, and this is what I'm doing because I'm just working on eval since I lost my PAs this week, just keep trading. You know, for me, it's just an eval. It's cheap. It's not a big deal. But just keep trading. This market will come around, and there are going to be days that make sense. Monday was actually kind of one of those days where we had some good trading. But just trade your strategy. Trade it. If you have a profitable strategy that works, don't let a market like this change your strategy. Don't let it ruin a good strategy just because a week, 2 weeks, a month doesn't make sense when the broader market right now doesn't make sense. Intraday is going to be tough to trade when the broader market doesn't make sense. When you go to the daily time frame and we have countless bearish moves that are not making sense, that should be continuing, but they're not, that is hard to trade. So, you know, I wish you guys the best out there, and I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow, and I will see you guys tomorrow.